Remember that we can add and subtract rational expressions only if there is a common denominator, just like we can add and subtract regular fractions only when there's a common denominator. And if there isn't a common denominator, we have to find the least common denominator, which is called the LCM when we deal with numbers. So notice here, it's a sum of two rational expressions. Now we have to look at the denominators, x minus 6 and 6 minus x. And we've seen this before. X minus 6 is the opposite sign of 6 minus x. There, let me show the relationship between the two. 6 minus x is equal to the negative 1, which means the negative of x minus 6. Because if you distribute the negative sign, you get 6 minus x. So the LCD is easy to find if you do one little thing. So x minus 6 plus 1 over the negative of x minus 6. This is equal to 5 over x minus 6. Positive in the numerator, negative in the denominator makes it a negative expression. And notice now we have the exact same denominator. But the important thing is to be able to recognize that x minus 6 and 6 minus x are related in this way. 6 minus x is the negative of x minus 6. So this is equal to 5 minus 1 over x minus 6, which is 4 over x minus 6. Now let's do one more example. Remember, I think I said this earlier, when you're adding rational expressions, you need a common denominator, and also make sure that the denominators are completely factored before you do anything else. Even if the denominators are the same, if they are factorizable, if you're able to factor them, make sure you factor them first. So this, I'm going to factor the denominators first. So it's x plus 7 over, factor out the 2. 2x, when 2 is factored out, you're left with an x. 2 times x is 2x. Plus, you factor out a 2 from the 12. And you get 6. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 6 over, remember that 36 is 6 squared. So this is x squared minus 6 squared. And remember, it's a difference of squares. And that is easy to factor because you just follow the rule. X plus 6 times x minus 6. So basically, x squared minus 6 squared. Write the numbers without the squares, change the sign, and write the same numbers, and that's how it works. So now that you've completely factored the denominators, now you have to find the LCD. Look at the two numbers here. One of the denominators is 2 to the 1. Look at all the factors and look at the exponents. X plus 6 to the 1. The second one is x plus 6 to the 1 times x minus 6 to the 1. Look at each factor. Pick the largest 2. So that's 2 to the 1. Pick the largest x plus 6. That's x plus 6 to the 1. Pick the largest x minus 6. It's x minus 6 to the 1. So you're looking at the largest exponent for each factor. So we've covered all the factors. We have a 2, we have an x plus 6, and we have an x minus 6. So the LCD, the least common denominator, is 2 times x plus 6 times x minus 6. So now, the first term, the first rational expression is x plus 7 over 2 times x plus 6. Now you have to make this 2 times x plus 6 times x minus 6. So we multiply and divide by x minus 6. And when you multiply the numerator, don't forget the parentheses. That's extremely important. So we have the next expression, which is plus 6 over, and now compare it to the LCD. You have an x plus 6, you have an x minus 6. The missing term is a 2. So we multiply with the 2 and we divide with the 2. So you have 2. We already had the x plus 6 and the x minus 6. So you multiplied the denominator with a 2. So you multiply the numerator with a 2 as well. So this is equal to. So now we have to be careful. We have to multiply it out carefully. The denominator, leave it in the factored form, is a common denominator of 2 times x plus 6 times x minus 6. Leave it in the factored form because at the end we might have to cancel common factors if necessary. So now we have to multiply the x plus 7 times x minus 6. So take the first term, multiply it with these two. It's the FOIL. If you use FOIL, that's fine. If not, just do this. So it's x times x, which is x squared, x times negative 6, which is negative 6x, and then you go plus 7. Don't forget the sign. It's the plus 7 times x, which is plus 7x, plus 7 times negative x, it is negative 42. So this is equal to x squared plus x minus 42. So this is x squared minus x, x squared plus x minus 42 plus 12. Now we simplify the numerator by combining like terms. We don't have another x squared, so I'm going to write down x squared plus x, and then negative 42 plus 12 is a negative 30 divided by 2 times x plus 6 times x minus 6. Now remember, we are done with the addition. We're completely done with the addition. However, the most important thing at the end is to present your answer in the lowest terms, which means you have to cancel all common factors, which means factor the numerator, factor the denominator. The denominator is all set. We don't have to do anything with the denominator. But the numerator is a quadratic expression and we can factor it if possible. If it's not possible to factor it, then that's the end of the problem. Now notice that negative 30, this is a 1, so when you multiply the 1 with a negative 30, you get a negative 30. Negative 30 is equal to 6 times 5 is 30. That's going to work for us. If you go positive 6 times negative 5, that'll work for us exactly, because positive 6 times negative 5 is negative 30, and positive 6 minus 5, which is plus negative 5, is equal to positive 1, which is the coefficient of the middle term. So we're going to write the middle term as, let's write this down, x squared plus 6x, because we want this to be a positive, plus 6 minus 5 x minus 30. Plus 6 minus 5x is x. And where did we get the factors from? From this work that we did. And this is equal to, take the first two terms, take out all common factors, it's x here. X times x is x squared plus 6. 6 times x is 6x. Factor out the minus 5. Not just the 5, but the negative 5, because you want it to be exactly x plus 6 here. and this is equal to x minus 5 times x plus 6. So this is equal to x plus 6 times x minus 5. We've factored the numerator, and factoring, by now you should be able to do it quickly and correctly. Get a lot of practice with that. And the reason why we factored the numerator and denominator is to be able to cancel common factors if possible. But in this case, notice that nothing cancels. I was almost ready to cancel something. Oh yeah, there is one, sorry. There is something that cancels. And now we write down our final answer, which is x minus 5 over 2 times x minus 6. So we've presented our final answer in the lowest terms. So just quickly go over this. If you have to add rational expressions, so the first step is always to factor the denominators completely. If it's a difference of squares, in this case it was x squared minus 36, x plus 6 times x minus 6. That has to be quick. You cannot be wasting time on that. Get a lot of practice doing that correctly. And then in the denominator on the left, the first expression, just factor the 2 out, and now in the second step we've factored all the denominators. So factor, for some reason this is not writing, factor denominators first. So that's the first thing to do. Next, find the LCD, least common denominator, by a very similar method, right? Like the ones it's called the prime factorization method. And I'll post that video as well for numbers. Prime factorization method. And using that method, you pick the largest of each factor. Look at the largest exponent for each factor, pick that, and you get your least common denominator. And of course, combine the expressions. At the end, make sure the numerator is factored and the denominator is factored. And if something cancels, you cancel it and present your answer in the lowest terms.